Oh, here we go. I don't hear it.
I don't either.
What do we need to do? No music.
No
No
music. We're
music.
dancing. No music. I
Hey,
wonder what's not working.
what you want to do? You want to start like this? We can wait for the music. We can
We can
jump into the
totally start.
conversation. Hey, y'all. Hey, and this is what we're doing. We're going with the flow today, right? Not only with the music, we're talking about water, freedom to swim, and emotional and mental wellness. And so this is a great way to start. It doesn't always start how you expect. What do you do with
Right?
that? How are you
Isn't
doing
that
with
the
that this week?
truth? So if
Right?
you're listening live, you didn't get
Yes.
our normal intro. If you're
Mm,
listening after the fact, you will get it because it
right.
when it goes out and distributed. So two
Sati is amazing at
versions.
stuff like that, right?
Sati, we love you.
We
Thank
love you,
you.
Sati. So today, y'all, again, episode 158 on emotional and mental wellness. Let's go ahead and jump into our intro so we can do our conversation after. How
Let's
does that
do it.
feel? All right,
It feels
y'all.
great. Let's do it.
Great. I am Shannon Mitchell, a Black millennial entrepreneur and Amazon best-selling publisher, author, and all-natural product manufacturer. I am a champion for your natural self-care, sustainable business care, and overall intentional wellness.
Hey, y'all, I'm Christine Gautreaux, a white social justice advocate, an international speaker, coach, and Amazon bestselling author and publisher, and a dancing social worker who helps you upgrade yourself and community care.
Yes, together we are a podcast rooted in the 8 dimensions of wellness and the co-founders of the Women Connected in Wisdom community.
And we like to get together every week to have intentional conversations about how to be wise in business, relationships, and wellness.
Yes. How do we do all of it?
Whew. How do we do all that?
Yes. So
Right?
when you think about emotional and mental wellness, we just talked a lot about what's going on in the world now. What's a tool that you've been using that's helped you in this season to stay centered?
Mm, I love that question.
Thank
You
you.
know, I have a lot in my toolbox and I'm
Yeah.
grateful. I am grateful. I always use interplay. You know, it's one of my number one modalities that I use for myself, for my clients, and in community. And what that entails is, getting to have all of it, getting to have all our feelings, getting to have our whole bodies and you access our whole bodies, not just, our brains and really being intentional about listening to our bodies. So, if I need to go take a nap, I go take a nap. If I need to drink more water, which is always the case right now, I drink more water. And I would say interplay and nature, going outside, putting my feet in the grass. We can't talk about that enough. But before I pass it to you, did
Yes.
you get to see the aurora borealis when they were showing out a
Wasn't it
couple of weeks ago?
yesterday? Wait,
Well,
what are
it's
you talking
it's
about?
supposed to happen again this week.
Remind me what you are you talking about the planets that are lined up? Wasn't it like June
That
4th?
happened, like, 2 days ago, but
Yeah, I
the
missed it. I
aurora
forgot about it.
borealis is the northern lights, where
Okay.
the sky kinda turns, purple and
Mhm.
pink and
Mhm.
green, and
Mhm.
some of our friends and people connected to Women Connected in Wisdom were
Yeah.
posting on their sites, like,
Oh.
Asheville got to see it. So you
Mm.
gotta go where it's a place where, there's not light pollution, and then sometimes it's very faint with the human eye, but also if you'll take pictures, you'll see it, like, and normally it does not drop down this low. Like normally you see it in Alaska or Iceland, and it normally doesn't drop as low as it's like this is
Mm.
almost a first for, the
A
South.
lot of us. Yeah,
Right.
I usually don't even consider it something that I would be able to see. I always think
Right.
about those further off destinations, and I see all the stuff online, you know?
Well,
Mm.
and they're saying it may happen again because there's big solar flares, which I have mixed feelings about this too. Like,
So
but
what are
I'm
your
here for the pretty
considerations?
lights, right?
Right. What are your I know you have environmental considerations, sounds like. What do you
Right,
go into?
absolutely. I don't know enough about it to speak on it, honestly. But,
That's fine.
anything dramatic like
Yeah.
that,
Mhm.
I appreciate but I also like,
I
is
hear
this
you.
a good thing
Right.
or should we
Important to stay
be more
attuned to.
concerned
Okay.
about this?
You know what I mean? And when we talk about emotional and mental wellness, that's where I go back to doing my due diligence, knowing where I am with the questions, prioritizing things. So, like, is this the moment to go do all this research, or do I pin this question that I have and know where I'm at and keep working on what's in front of me that's priority?
Right?
I hear
So
you.
what tools are you using
I love
for
it.
emotional and mental wellness?
Oh, I would say the same thing. Definitely environmental. I posted on Instagram earlier this week. We were thinking about going to Piedmont for Memorial Day, and Andre 3000 was out there, and super excited to be able to support him. And then I started thinking about all these people that would be out at Piedmont. So we went back to Sweetwater Creek. I think it's like Sweetwater Creek State Park. We were saying it wrong, but
Mm, I
beautiful
love
to get
that
away.
place.
And I
Mm.
was asleep. I grew up in Powder Springs and never, usually when we go to Powder Springs, I turn right after the highway, and this is to the left. And it's a beautiful gym. We had a really good time.
Can I just speak to that? Like, I think that's such human nature that we often go with our body grooves. That's what we call it in interplay. We all have body grooves, like whether we use this part of our body or so you saying we go to the right,
Yeah.
that's a body groove, right?
Yeah.
And that sometimes we have to really, first of all, pay attention that we do that. But
Hmm.
second of all, consciously try something different
Yeah.
that might be uncomfortable
Hmm.
or that might not feel good when we first do it because
Yeah.
it's going to be awkward.
Hmm.
Because when you're in your body groove, like when you always have your dance move, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
feels good. And then when you go a different way, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's awkward or it doesn't feel.
Yes.
I love that.
And we could talk about it. We'll talk about it with our guest today and how she helps adults learn new things. Um, But I love that you said that because it takes away the judgment of ourselves, right? We talk
Right.
about that a lot, noticing instead
Right.
of judging. And it might be difficult, not because you're bad at it, not because you're not supposed to do it, but because you were literally creating new neural pathways in your brain of habits and
Absolutely.
way to do it consistently and what works best for you with your strengths. And it is the discomfort that we can lean into that'll sometimes lead us to the results that we're looking for that'll keep us in a better place for ourselves.
Right. I think
Yeah.
about this. I think about myself because I like to take risk. I have been since I was 18
Mm,
and my Aunt Joan got me to jump out of an airplane. But
mhm.
I think about like I love trying new things.
Yeah.
And I will give a shout out to Instagram because
Mm.
I'm a huge fan of the things that pop up on my phone and I'm like, "Ooh, that's close by. I'm going to go try that," right?
Right.
uh, we did that last Sunday for my mom's birthday. For my mom's 75th birthday, we
Mm,
took her to this sweet little. If anybody's ever in Fort Collins, Colorado, it's. I'll put a link to it in our show notes. But it was a place called Farm Suite, and it was this little family farm that you go in and you get to cut well, this the season right now is peonies. So
mm,
you get to cut peonies and they're just here, I'm going to show you.
yeah.
This little
Sure.
one is by my mom's desk. This is just
Mm,
like one stem. Isn't that gorgeous for our
that's good.
listeners that are listening and not watching us
Mm,
live? I'm holding up a little glass vase full of three gorgeous pink peonies,
mhm.
four actually, and I wish we had smell-o-vision because they smell
Mm.
so good too. So, but I got that from Instagram. Like I was something popped up about cutting your own. I was like, oh, mom, this would be a great thing to do for your birthday.
Yeah.
And now I have officially declared it a family tradition. It was so much fun.
I love it. And starting new things and, like, holding on to the things that spark joy, and
Right?
that's what else I've been working on as I read this. I'll show it. Rest is Resistance, a
Ah,
manifesto, right?
love
So
Trisha
good.
Hersey's work.
Yes. So I've
Yeah.
started taking, like, mini 20-minute naps, and, yesterday with what I wanted to get done, I said, "You know what? I don't wanna take a nap right now, but I will stop for 2 minutes." And I just shut off the lights, set an alarm, and for 2 minutes, just we both closed our eyes, just turn off for a second.
Mm.
Yeah.
When I'm leading the warm up in Interplay often, and there's a part that we get to, and I learned this from the co-founder of Interplay, Phil Porter, but there's a part where I stop and I say, and for 30 seconds, do nothing. And it's incredible how 30 seconds, first of all, feels like a really long time. and how uncomfortable it can be in your body if you're not used to just stopping, right?
Mhm.
Ugh, I
I
need
love
more
it.
of that.
And I
Mhm.
want to encourage everybody with that before we bring our guests on. Like for me, setting the alarm, part of it, I do think about, do I want to end my rest in this alarming tone, right? So I do try to have it be a certain sound if I can ever control that. But for me, it's worth the alarm at the end so I know when my time is cut, or, ready to transition. But when you let go of time, you have that 20-minute alarm set, you have that 2 minute or 30 seconds, it does stretch. When you start putting those things together, I would love a comment. Tell us the effect that you see in it. Tell, even if it's Trisha Hersey's work and it's the stuff that you see over there. Let us know how it helps, because I definitely am an advocate for rest and know that when you let go of the time, the freedom just expands. So super excited to keep experimenting. And those are some of the things I've been working on for mental and emotional maintenance.
I love that.
Hmm.
I love
Hmm.
that a lot. Well, and I think about with it being summer, and
Yeah.
I think about I was I grew up with 2 parents that were public school teachers.
Mm.
So summer was a thing, right? Because they were off work. Like we had summers at our house. And my dad was also a farmer. So we worked a lot because that was
Hmm.
harvest season and things like that. But
Hmm.
I think about this time of year, my body still loves, like, it loves to slow down. It loves to do a lot of stuff, but it also loves to play and relax. It's that combo of what summertime is to me.
Mm.
So,
It's
and
interesting.
swimming, which I
And
can't wait to talk to our guest today.
right?
Yeah, the
And
water.
that's it's important. And so I guess that'll be the where we can transition the conversation. When is the best time to rest? And I know it depends on your industry that you're in, right? We usually think about it around the holidays. Now this year with me being an insurance agent and that being open enrollment, does that make the most sense? Right. And so I was on her Instagram, on Trisha's Instagram, and I know she's taking the summer and her book is coming out later this year. So I was thinking with Connected and Wisdom Press, our books usually coming out in September, October,
Hmm.
then with insurance after that, it does sound like the summer would be a good point, when I can facilitate everything to take that break and to learn new things. Like we're going to talk to our guest, Cori Myka, about how she walks her clients and everybody through the skills and how to get used to them.
Right? I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, should I read off the definition before you read off her bio?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Emotional and mental wellness is about being aware and intentional of our feelings in all situations. It includes having the capacity and tools to handle and express these emotions in a healthy manner, and the ability to learn and grow from experience. Emotional well being encourages autonomy, useful decision making skills, and striving towards good mental health.
Yes. Yes. And again, guys, today we're talking about freedom to swim with calm confidence. And our expert is Cori Myka. She is co owner of Calm Within Adult Swim and creator of the Foundations of Change learning method. For over 20 years, Cori has been taking adult non swimmers from fearful beginning to realizing their wildest dreams. Her unique teaching is so highly regarded because it is based on training and healing the mind so you can learn physical steps. Taking swimming beyond the pool and into life. Based in Seattle, Washington, Corey has been training students and teachers locally and across the US, as well as in the UK and Singapore. Help us welcome to the stage Corey Myka. Hi, Corey.
Hello, Corey.
Hello, hello. Hi.
Welcome, welcome back to the table.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I love
Abs-
popping in on the nothing too.
Say that again, Corey. You were talking about popping in, but we actually cut out right when you said that. Will you say that phrase again?
Oh, I said I loved popping in onto the particular conversation you guys were having because it's so relevant to
Yes.
when we're teaching adults to swim. I mean, one of the hardest things I think that we do with folks is to have them to be able to allow the water to hold them and to be able to let go. And it is because we're doing it for the time that we can hold our breath. So it's maybe 30 seconds, like you were talking about, Christine. And they kind of go into the water and they're like this, is this how I let the water hold me? Their whole body, for anybody who's not watching, I'm like tensing up my body as much as I
Yes.
can.
Yes.
Well, the water does hold you even when you're tense. And there's more for us too. So that is like one of the hard
Right.
things for folks to be able to lean into.
I love that. And I love that so much because one of my favorite parts of being in the water is allowing it to hold me, right? We know salt water is different than chlorine, but either way, I usually make it part of what I do no matter what I'm doing in the water that day to like relax in the water and be held. So I know you help people with the way they think about it, right? Because sometimes we're so used to it being a one, two, three step, and you think you can do it, and you get there and you're flapping instead of swimming. So, can you walk us through your process of helping your clients get used to it?
Sure. I mean, we talk about learning to swim is 2 parts mental to 1 part physical. That's what the foundation of change is really about. And I mean, we say it in everyday language. Get ready, get set, go, right? Like there's these 2 mental steps and then a physical step. And
Mhm.
it's really those 2 mental steps that people skip, especially as a beginner, somebody, you're new and you're thinking swimming lessons, learning to swim. It's about the activity, it's about the go, which, but we have to have the preparation to have the go in a way that, like, how do I want the go to be? Do I want it
Mhm.
to be frenetic and freaking out and just getting to, or do I want it to have calm confidence? Do I
Mhm.
with my body in the water, right? So bringing that curiosity in and starting. So those are some of the pieces of the mental steps that need to happen before we even get to the action steps.
Mhm. That's really important. I love how you said get ready twice mentally. And sometimes we might need that. Did it surprise you or did you go in knowing that you would have to work so much on the mental side of physically teaching people how to swim?
I didn't know that. And I mean, I've been teaching swimming. I mean, the first person I asked if I could teach them was my aunt when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
She was afraid. We were on a houseboat in Lake Powell, and I'll teach you how to swim, right? But so I've been in the swim industry, for forever, um, and when I first started teaching
Mhm.
adults, um, it was I could teach them to do stuff. And it was when I had the wherewithal to ask them, well, how was that? Right? To check in
Mhm.
with them. I can see you doing the stuff, but how is it for you? And I started getting that feedback of, well, either like, I have no idea. It's sort of this deer in the headlights. I got to the other side, but I don't really know how. And, or I don't really feel like a swimmer. Yeah, I'm doing it. I jumped off the diving board. I did all these things, but I don't feel like I own it. I don't feel like I could call myself a swimmer. And so that's when I started realizing, okay, something's missing here. People are doing the physical skills, but they're not there mentally.
Mhm.
They don't trust themselves, they don't trust the water. And that's when I started to get curious and think, what else do we need to have in here?
Ooh, you saying that, Corey, about they don't trust themselves. Will you expand on that a little bit?
Sure. So um, one of the examples I think of is people, they come in and they say, I can do it because you're here, or I can do it because it's shallow water, or I can do it because I'm, a few feet away from the wall, or something like that. And this is sort of you're lending the your abilities in the world because of external things. And there's not space in there. People don't have that ownership and autonomy of like, wait a second, but I'm the one who decided to do it in the shallow end, or I decided to have a lifeguard at the place that I'm swimming, or whatever. So that that puts that locus of control and that building of trust within the learner. So that's one of the things that we work on with people. And the other piece of that not trust ourselves is this piece of being worried in the past something went wrong, or I don't trust myself to calm down to be able to do what I need to do. Um, those kinds of trust issues too. And so we want to help people understand, how they're the ones that are responsible for their safety. They are being responsible for their safety, and and how they can trust themselves in that by tuning in and listening to themselves and not having to shut away what they're feeling and what's coming up for them.
I love how this is so applicable to more than swimming. Like, it is, yes, to learning how to swim and being a good swimmer, but how you can take these very same things and transfer it to anything. Shannon and I were talking about this before you came on,
Yeah.
and she was the one that was really raising that up. You want to say more about that, Shannon?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, the trusting yourself, right? And the holding the power of validation from where you're coming from instead of outside, I think can help us in so many situations. And for me, it surprised me when I started working on weight loss and being more intentional about my physical wellness that I realized what was happening, right? Oh, as a kitchen manager at Papado at this time, I said I wanted to lose weight. And every time I walk by the fries, here goes my little hand. It's like a little habit. And why are you eating fries if you're supposed to stick to it? So I realized that, um, and I used to say this quote, right? We get mad at other people for cheating on us, but we cheat on ourselves.
Mm.
So, right, really just being committed. If I said I was going to drink water, my water is going to be right here. And it's going to be right here in arm's reach every day. And so, right, like me giving that to myself, you knowing that when you get in the water, you have your you have your trunks, you have your bathing suit, you have whatever you need for your hair. I took care of myself in this moment. I can take care of myself in the next moment. And for me, even if it's not in my own strength, me doing everything I can in my power and then trusting the rest to God, it'll work itself out.
Corey, you mentioned earlier about sometimes something bad has happened in the past,
Yeah.
right? And I have experienced this myself, right? When I was going for my 40th birthday, I learned how to swim. I grew up not really swimming. Like, I could doggy paddle and I could play around, but I never took swimming lessons, anything like that. And I wanted to run a triathlon. So I had to learn how to swim as an adult, right? Um, and I haven't been swimming in a couple of years faithfully. Like, I've gotten in and played, but my travel schedule and things like that. And I really want to get back to it. But I'm noticing even in myself a hesitation. And I'm not going to the fun stuff. I'm not going to the fact that I've done several races, I've lived, I've all that. I'm going to that feeling of when you get in and you're awkward and you choke on water. And like, it's very interesting, even as we're having this conversation, like, that's where my brain is going.
Hmm.
It's not going to the what things that I've completed and done well, but it's going to that awkwardness. So how do you address that with folks who are restarting or something has scared them in the past?
Yeah, so I mean, we do want to look at, just like you were doing, telling the story and seeing what is actually factual in it. What is it that we're just repeating that is not really helping us? And there was quite a few things in your story that I was picking up on, so my brain is a little all over the place with it. Uh, what we want to see, so the things that our brain likes to have us repeat sometimes it's that habit thing, like the habit of grabbing those French fries, and but sometimes it's also, I like to lean in with some kind curiosity. It was like, am I being warned about something? Right? Like, so when you talk about the water in your nose and some experiences you had, can I use that instead of just resisting paying attention to that or having that come forward, but to say, is there something that need to take care of there? Is there something that I need to learn about there? Do I need to approach it in a different way? And the other piece I was picking up on in your story is like, what does it really mean to swim? It's like I could hear this bar. There's a difference between fitness swimming and we'll just say recreational swimming.
Right.
And so you're like, I haven't been swimming. And I got the sense of it was like, I haven't been lap swimming and doing this
Right.
like
I haven't
thing
been
that I'm,
training. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
qualifying. But
Yeah.
what if it counted to go and have a good time at the pool? And it
Right.
counted to just go in and play around with, how does the water get in my nose or not get in my nose, and not worry about the training and let the training kind of come to you because you're more invited to it. It comes from a place of, I want to do more in the water. This feels really good. Uh, versus I have to. Swimming is only if I do this thing that then I get water in my nose, and it's
Yeah.
very hard work.
Yeah.
So Cori just picked up on the fact that I was raised by a football coach in Texas. She didn't know she was picked up on that, but she totally was picked up.
So tell us more. So, okay, from what she said, what is it that showed you that?
Right? Because she picked up really clearly on the like it's a have to do it and you do it
Mm,
one certain way and you do
mhm,
it in the training and you do it
mhm,
and yeah, like I haven't been training, so therefore I
mhm.
haven't been swimming. And to be fair, I haven't really gotten to go swimming lately because of my travel schedule either. But I love that invitation, Corey. Like just getting in and playing and splashing around and
Yeah.
not having to be perfect at it. Like
Mm-mm.
just I get to play. I love that
Right.
invitation.
It
And what
counts if
I
you go throw the ball around, right?
yeah.
If you
Right?
just went and threw
Right?
a football around, that counts.
Right.
Mhm. And what I heard you saying is, for me, what that does is replaces the negative thought, right? Again, with Eileen Dillon's work in Volume 2, right, Christine, we talk about how emotions are teachers, right? So, Corey, I love how you said maybe he's trying to warn us. That's our natural human side, right? That's our instinct. Like, hey, don't forget this happened last time. But what else happened? You finished the triathlon. You did it. You got to take your still point in the water and look up at the sky, and you still kept swimming. You know what I mean? And so, like, when I look at the thoughts that come up for me when I'm restarting something or doing something for the first time, that's what I think about. What I can do to either replace it or hold both as I look at the lesson. Um, but then maybe to play with it and do it lighter instead of the really big task that I feel like is huge, like a whole business plan. Instead of me writing it out, okay, let me look at the layout of it. Let me look at a couple of them, right? Or maybe a couple of different YouTube videos. Let me go on Canva, see what the designs are like so I can wrap my mind around it and then come back at another time and actually try to execute. And for me, that's the difference between playing with the ball and getting reassociated with the water to doing laps. And then from there, it reminded me of last 4th of July. The water got all in my nose. It was the painful, why did I jump in like this type of moment, you know? But I still know I know how to swim. I'd still been looking forward to getting in the water, and knew when the next time would be. And so I just allowed myself to still get the experience that I now sacrificed to get, you know? And it ended up to be a beautiful day, floating in the water with my ears under it. And that's what I was
Mm,
thinking when we were talking about floating earlier, Corey.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that goes back to what we were talking about before, which is the trust that
Mhm.
I can have something go wrong. I can experience an emotion,
Mhm.
and I can trust myself to be kind to myself.
mm,
Trust myself that I'm going to have my own back,
Yeah.
even in the face of that. And that's a big emotional piece of it.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, even us swimmers get water in our nose. And it doesn't feel great.
Uh,
right?
And, but I trust that I'm not going to lose it. And
mhm.
that's, our students who come to us, they're at the point that they can lose it when they get water in their nose because they do have a big story about what it all means. So we have
Yeah.
to help reframe that and help them with the physical tools of how does that get the water get in your nose or not.
Okay. So let's talk about it real quick, Corey. We're in the water. This adult new swimmer, right, is freaking out, water in the nose. What do you do?
Well, the first thing that I do is I make sure that they can stand up and breathe. Yes, and we
Okay.
do just that. We just bring it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really help get their brain on board with, okay, I am okay now. But in the future I might, well, hang on. Let's, bring ourselves in now. Once people's adrenaline comes down and they are calmed down,
Mhm.
then we can come in with some curiosity of, when did we go from being calm to not being calm? And that's the zone that we want to play in right
Mhm.
there. And it's usually because people have expectations of, I loved your business plan. Like, I had to write the whole business plan in one sitting. I had to do all of the things as soon as I got in the water. No,
Mhm.
let's roll back and just find what are the things that we can do with calm confidence. When we show ourselves that, we have that trust in ourselves, and that, then we can add one thing and we will find out, well, I'll offer things, I'll offer another thing, and it's for the student to really go, yeah, that does sound interesting. That I do think I could be calm to play around with that, investigate that one thing, or that one thing sounds like too much. Great,
Mhm.
then let's cut it in half.
Yeah.
Right. Let's keep dialing it down till we find just the right thing.
Mhm. So I'm interested in what you think about this, Corey. I saw some, I don't remember the research, or if it, I think it was a video where something about adults actually being able to learn faster than children. I think that it's because of the way we think about it. And again, these stories that we have that slows us down sometimes. What do you think with your work and adult learners?
I think adult learners can learn faster than children in
Okay.
terms of, um, if they're going about it the right way, in terms of
Mhm.
they're taking care of these mental steps. I think it takes them a lot longer to learn, um, when they're trying to do it, from their adult brain, from their
Mhm.
adult thinking. They're trying to think their way through and analyze their way through. They can do the tasks of swimming, but they don't really get it, until they
Mhm.
do those mental parts. So they can learn a lot faster because you are, as an adult, you're much more coordinated. You can pay attention, right? All these things that kids aren't. I mean, they are good at being coordinated, but not listening to directions and and
Mhm.
and those kinds of things. So, where kids have the advantage, though, is they're not thinking about the past and the future as much,
Mhm.
and they're in the now. And so that we'll get students, Christine, you talked about people coming back. We'll get people who uh, did learn something as a kid, and even if they had something bad happen, uh, if they had some experiences as a very young child, we'll see that come back around when we can connect the dots for them and help their system calm down. They have an intuitiveness that people who have absolutely never been in the water don't
Mhm.
have as much.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we think about freedom to swim with calm confidence and emotional and mental wellness, how do you see those two things being aligned? Like when you talk about taking that confidence out of the water, what do you see as the difference after you have those conversations?
Well, what comes to mind is the number of times I've had people say, I broke up, I quit that job. I like, after they've done classes with us,
Wow.
um, because um, we've given them space and permission and a very practical application of tuning in and listening to their own needs and desires and questions, and following that instead of doing what they think they should be doing. And when they find, like, wow, all these years I've been so afraid, never thought I could learn how to swim and be in deep water and this kind of thing. If I can transform that, why am I, sitting not transforming some of these other things in life that I've just sort of let myself become accustomed to, but they're not necessarily things that I want.
Mhm. So important.
Ooh, that's powerful, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Like really tuning into your body, tuning into your self confidence and your wants and desires, all from swimming lessons. I love that. I love that so much. And I love that you have a technique, like that you have a system that really is helping folks. Yeah, that's exciting to me. Now, do you only do things local or do you consult with people online? Like, tell us about that part of your business.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was as you were speaking, I was just thinking about I've got some students in England right now and in California. I'm in Seattle, Washington. And because we do things online. I mean, I just had somebody send me her pictures of her trip to Greece and where she got in the water off the back of the boat. And she said, I just heard your voice in my head, like telling me to listen to myself and my own pace. She let other people kind of go, and she figured out what was going to work for her so she could enjoy this amazing, beautiful water and experience, but on her terms that were safe and trustworthy to her. And so I teach people online, and I teach people in person in Seattle. We also teach people on retreats. So we go to Hawaii and learn to swim and snorkel in 5 days, which is the best fun.
I was about to say hello.
Yes. Can we say more? Because and I wanted us to
Oh,
talk about it because it's coming up.
It is.
right. We need to talk about that. And also, I have a very specific question on that, Corey, because I listeners know I identify as somebody with ADHD. And I have tried to drown myself several times snorkeling because I forget the breathing. Like, I am not good at it. I
What's the
literally
difference in the
forget
breathing?
to breathe correctly and I take in water. So
Tell me, because I want to know
I
something.
don't know if you have any tips or tricks for that. Like I'm a much better scuba diver than I am snorkeler for sure.
Hmm,
So,
interesting. I My big tip for that is swim with a turtle. You
ooh,
see how your
I love
body
that
just
tip.
changed? Oh,
Right?
because
Oh,
then we
yeah.
become like quiet like they are, and just yeah, because our body wants to breathe in a natural pattern.
Mhm.
And this my experience when I first started snorkeling, and you might be similar, is if you really know how to swim, or you've been swimming fitness swimming where you get air by
Mhm.
turning to the side or popping up or however you do it, when you put a snorkel on, it doesn't make sense to breathe under the water. It doesn't. So for some people who don't know how to swim or don't know how to get air very well, it's great. Like, oh my God, it's wonderful! I can get air. I figured it out. But for people who have been swimming for a long time, it's kind of confusing. It can be confusing to the brain of you're not supposed to breathe under here. So yeah, having a space to slow down, and so you can allow for your body and your brain to catch up with, I am actually getting air through this little tube,
Mhm.
because it feels very different than just getting a bunch of air in your mouth, when you come up. So yeah, it's really slowing down, being like a turtle.
I love that because really, when you said it, my body instantly knew what you meant.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and
Okay,
that's
so
our
say more about the Hawaii trip.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this September, we're going again. We go. This is, I think, our fourth time to going there, and taking students there. We stay at this beautiful resort called Napili Kai on Maui, and we were just there in April. It was our first time back, actually, since the fires, and it was
Mm.
so lovely. They were so welcoming and really glad that we were there. I talked to many people there. They really said they needed us to be there. I know there's mixed messages about that, but
Mm.
um Anyway, so yeah, we stay at this beautiful resort. It's right on the beach. And for our learn to swim, we use the pools that are right there. So nobody, you don't have to commute there after work, right? You're not like rushing to do this thing. So we use the beautiful pools that are there. We use the hot tub that's there. And we do our signature program, which is teaching people how to swim with confidence. And then we bridge them into teaching them how to snorkel. And we get to go out into the ocean for those who are ready. And most, every time everybody is, they're very curious. And we have these, we've been there enough times. We have these nice shallow water places and calmer places that we take people to have that first snorkeling experience. And get to hang out with fish for sure, and sometimes the turtles too.
Mm, so exciting. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mhm.
And I have a question for you, Corey, before we go into our wisdom and action and what we're specifically doing for ourselves this week. I would love for you to share with our listeners what you do and what you have in your tool set for your emotional and mental wellness as you help people with their freakouts and their initial stages and all the things that go into your coaching. What do you do to keep yourself centered?
One of the biggest things that I do, there's a couple things I do, but one of the biggest things I do is I do brain, um, or actually, I mean, technically it's an electronic paper, but I use the kinesthetic writing of letting myself dump out those thoughts of the
Mhm.
day. Um, this is not something for anybody else. It's not even like a journal in terms of for me to remember stuff of the past, because it's really, I use it to get some separation
Mhm.
between what my brain is offering me as thoughts all day long
Yeah.
and the reality, right? That our brain likes to think weird things sometimes
Yes.
and habituate on things. And when I put it down, it just gives me that space to be able to then see which of these is true that I want to call true, which of these are not, which is helpful, what is not helpful, to just have some curiosity instead of it just rumbling over and over and over again in my brain. So that is the biggest, most helpful thing I've ever done is those thought downloads.
That downloads. I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. And while we're on it, I think we go ahead and go into the wisdom in action. So I hear you that this is something you use a lot, right? I think, no, it's fine, Christine. I see you. I think it's a great idea, right? Is there anything this week that you're like, you know what, I need to add this, or a new thing that's really been helping you that you've added that you could share for emotional and mental wellness?
Was that to me?
Yes.
Okay,
Or
sorry.
you could pass it. If you're like, "Hey, let me think about it. You ladies take it and I'll come back," you could do that.
Let's do that because I actually thought you
Okay.
were talking to
Okay.
Christine.
Christine, you wanna go or you want
Sorry.
me to go first? That's okay.
I can do it. Emotional and mental wellness this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
My wisdom in action. Well, I haven't been in the pool this season because of travel and family emergencies. So I am going to get in the water. Like, I'm
Mm,
just going to hashtag get to the water. I did put my feet in a really lovely creek on Sunday, but it was well, it's a river, but, I didn't get in. It was one of those really cold mountain creeks that, you can put your feet in, but if you put your whole body in, hypothermia may set in. So
right.
so, yeah, I'm gonna get to the water. It's gonna
Yeah.
be my hashtag. What about you,
Get to the
Shannon?
water. Ooh, I love it. I would love to make that mine. I've been trying to get to the water now, for, like, over a year, and I was going to the pool in my swimsuit and ended up not going to the water this past weekend. But I don't think that's gonna be mine for my action. What am I actively doing? I am actively, let's see, let's say, I guess this is what we could say. We could say yes to alignment. Say yes to alignment. right? Because you and I have talked about opportunities on the table, and you're like, okay, well, why is it a no? And there aren't a lot of reasons why it's a no. I think it's a yes, you know? So for my emotional and mental wellness, I've chosen to say no to this, some things in the past few weeks, yes to some things. When we talk about business, Corey, and doing things for the first time, there could definitely be that freak out, right? But definitely working on self trust and the system that we know that works and knowing where we are and how to breathe in that situation. I love that reference with the snorkeling. And just like it reminds me of a goldfish. You know how you have to get them used to the new water.
Mm,
And when I go snorkeling and scuba diving for the first time, I'll probably think about you ladies like, let me get used to this way of breathing and then go a little bit deeper. So, yep, yes to alignment.
nice.
What about you, Corey?
Well, so what my brain is going to the elimination side, actually.
Mm,
I want to say the negative side, but it's not negative.
I like
Um,
elimination.
it's yeah, and I what I am eliminating is this is my last work thing for the week.
Oh, love it. Yes.
So um, when I had a little login issues, I was a little like, well, maybe
Right.
I'm done now.
Right. I'm with you. Yes.
Yeah, I've got a kid graduating high school tomorrow, and
Congratulations.
yeah, so fun. And I've got parents flying in tonight, and
Yes.
we have um, we're leaving on a big vacation that we've been planning actually for 8 years. We were
Wow.
supposed to do it for my older child's high school graduation,
Mhm.
but that was in 2020.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yes, a part of me wants to be frenetic and like all these. I think it's just time. Like I'm not working,
Mhm.
and I have all next week to finish prepping for that trip. I just get to be with my kid and my family
Mm.
um, through the weekend. So that is my
Oh, Corey, that sounds so lovely.
I love it. Hashtag get to be.
Mm. Get to be.
Mhm.
Congrats, congrats to your youngest and to the
Yes.
whole
What's their name
family. And
that's
what's
graduating?
their name? Give them a shout out.
their name is Josie.
Congratulations, Josie.
Josie,
Yes.
congrats.
And
Woohoo!
congrats to you, Corey, for making it through the finish line and all the work that you've done to get Josie here as
Mhm.
well.
Well,
Mhm.
I'll hold on to that till tomorrow night.
Right.
Since I did
Yes.
get on Monday, I don't want to graduate, Mom. Well,
Oh.
okay, honey.
Right. Right.
We'll do all those deals. Okay, I gotcha.
Right, all those, all of it. Boy, life transitions, they're real,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
Mm,
And just being present to them and having that calm confidence, just like you
It's
teach.
important.
Thank you so much, Corey, for your work in the world, for visiting with us. We are so grateful to be connected with you and just enjoy your time off.
thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Talk
being here. This was great.
Thank you so
Talk to you
much.
later.
Yes.
Bye. How
Mm,
fun. Boy,
so
it makes
excited
me
to
just
be
want to go swimming like right now.
Yeah. No, definitely. 1, definitely, right? 2, you definitely got this. So, yeah.
Mom just got the notice today from her she's got a new apartment and the pools haven't been open, which I've been fussing about
Mhm,
because I'm thinking about all these mamas with the kids that have been out of school a
mhm,
week and I'm
mhm.
like, all right, y'all, come on. This
Oh,
and so they've been working on the pH and all that and they got it
mhm.
solved today. And so
Good.
the notice went out to go get in the water today, but it is definitely happening. So
Hey, and
happening
that's
this
what
week.
I love that, and I'm glad they're able to get in the pool, and that's why I love how relevant our conversation is, right?
Right.
Like, even when we go back to the what did she say? "Get ready, get
Get
set,
set,
go."
go.
Right?
Right,
Like, as a business owner, you guys know these apartment complexes let's do a PSA. We know the kids are getting out of school. We know they want the pool, it's included in the rent, right? The get ready, get set was before this week, okay? Like, we need
right,
to be, like, a month
right,
out.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that because when she was talking, I was really thinking about, our practice and interplay and incremental
Mhm,
steps,
mhm,
right? And the incremental steps of being able to get yourself ready for something big,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Something, because for somebody that's got trauma around swimming or about trying something new, or,
Mhm,
it is a big deal. And so
mhm,
I really love that. Really anything. Like when I think about how these skills can be applied across the board to starting new businesses, to starting a new job or a new
mhm.
relationship.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Or
I
even
love
like a
that.
new habit in those things. How we were talking about, what did you say it's called again when your body automatically, what do you guys call it
Body
in play?
grooves, body
Yeah.
grooves,
You know what I mean? So your
right?
body's in this groove. You have this habit of doing it, even if it's a new way or a new thing in this relationship or the company or the season. Like it makes sense, but it's worth it when you get to the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, any shout outs we need to give our listeners before we close this episode?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I would just say let us know. Let us know what you think about the episode and how it helps you start new things and how it helps you in your calm confidence that you've been working on in the environments that you find yourself in.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other question I have for you, Shannon,
Mhm.
is anything we need to know? What's going on over at Shalo Glow? Because
So,
it's
Shay,
summer. It's time
it's
for moisturizing. It is
you know what
time
I
for
mean?
glowing. It is
Yes.
what's happening over there?
Time for all of it. So we're getting ready for our summer events. If you know and love Shaylo Glow, follow the podcast. You know that our 4-year anniversary is definitely coming up. We have some logistics that are switching, right? But what we know is that we're celebrating. What we know is
Right.
that we need to be taken care of from head to toe, no matter what's going on. So we have Shaylo Glow, the website available right now. If you need any gifts, if we need anything for yourself, we've been talking a lot about. Um, Trying to ration off parts of your body when the glow butter and the Shalo's oil is running off, and that does not feel good.
Just buy some more.
Just make sure
And
that
get
we
the
have what we
travel
need.
kit. Get the
Yes,
travel kit so when
pass
you're
through
traveling this
TSA.
summer, pass through
Mhm.
TSA so you don't have to mail it back to
No.
yourself.
And that's if you have the time. Again, you
Time
guys
or
know the
money,
story,
because yeah.
right? Because shipping is crazy, and I had to throw away that 10-ounce jar of coconut oil, and I was
Mhm.
not happy. So we have
Mm-mm.
the travel size, all under 2 ounces, like she's saying. We have the home glow size for each product, the bigger sizes if you know you need more or wanna share it, and we definitely have some events coming up for you guys, so stay tuned to our stuff as Women Connected in Wisdom, to Shalo Glow, and all the events we have coming up for you to share what's
Mm,
been working and stay in community.
right, and thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in, y'all. Really grateful, and, grateful to be with you this week and
Yes.
to be connected, and yeah.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. We will see you live at 5 next week. In the meantime, be well, be wise, be whole. We'll talk to you soon.